Darby versus Acme gets picked up for distribution. What does that mean for the future of Our Flag Means Death? Rhys says he'd go gay for Henry Cavill. Is Henry indeed a Rhysie girlie? And today is the Our Flag Means Death behind the scenes virtual convention. What are we learning from the show's creators? These headlines and more on today's Gay Pirate News Hour from the Our Flag Means Fanfiction podcast. Woohoo!
Yay!
Today is April 5th, 2025. And on the episode this week, we have Andrea back again. We try to get rid of her, but she keeps on coming back.
I just won't leave.
Push her out the door and just comes right back in. Also on the show is Belle, who saw Rhys in Wellington and just got back from New Zealand. How are you feeling, Belle? It's now been like a week, right? 6 days.
Yep. 6 days. It's great. I mean, I wish I was back there. I keep just longingly looking out my window, hoping to see a mountain, and I don't.
And Ringa is back like the fungus you can't get rid of. You've tried all sorts of different products. You keep on going back to your doctor, and you're like, this thing won't go away. Have anything that's prescription strength. And Ringa just keeps on coming back. How are you doing, Ringa?
It just won't go away. I'm persisting despite the horrors, and that's the best I can do.
Let's dive in. First, how was New Zealand and seeing Rhys live again? That's like your fourth time seeing Rhys live, right?
Third time with a stand-up. So it was fantastic. First of all, New Zealand, highly recommended. Please go if you can. It's a long flight from wherever you are, pretty much, except maybe Australia, but it is absolutely worth it. It's gorgeous. The people are amazing. And Rhys was in his element. He was amongst people who already adored him. It was wonderful to see all the signs and everything from his shows. And he was, I was in the first one, so he was basically throwing everything he could think of out at us. So it lasted all 2 hours. It was fantastic. It was just like a Rhys overdose, and I was in for it.
Fantastic. And he's going to be so thrilled to see you again in London. I know he's going to be like, you look familiar.
He definitely knows who you are by now.
My best hope is that he doesn't. That is just like, God. Otherwise, he's going to start thinking of some legal actions.
And those of you who are watching, share in the chat what, if you want us to address a specific thing, share it in the chat. Or if you just feel like telling us where you're coming from, share that in the chat too. But the big news is Behind Our Flag is happening right now. And prior to this starting, David Jenkins was talking, Alyssa Lane and Alex Sherman were talking. We learned so many things. And I just started screenshotting a bunch of tweets, and we're going to talk about them. So there's been little Horny Gold tidbits. There was a version of Horny Gold that was essentially leading an AA group on the island with a bunch of other pirates.
Which would have been awesome. Like, Jack would have been there.
That, I think, can exist in fanfiction land.
Yeah, it was giving us a lot to work off of, to write. Yeah. But I love the gravy basket scenes. I think they are really perfection. But I was literally just saying yesterday, our friend Gutis was hosting a watch party that I was on. And I was just saying, I love that actor who plays Hornigold so much. And if they could have given him even more to do, like, that would have been so great. And apparently they were going to.
Yeah. I mean, he's very good. He's exactly what people were picturing. After season 1, we were all imagining that Hornigold would show up for season 2. And that's basically what we were picturing. So good job.
But I did feel like the gravy basket sequence was the perfect length. Would it have worked if it was like longer, if there was like a whole thing? Would we have been like, let's get these men together?
If we had more episodes,
right.
If we had more, I keep seeing tweets like nonstop for the past couple of years. I see skeets, whatever they are, about how like television is too short now. We used to have so many episodes. We used to have 24 episode seasons, and now everything's like, 4 episodes, 8 episodes, 10 episodes, and everything has to be important all the time, and there's no room for filler. And filler is fun. People love slice of life stuff. That's why there's so much fanfic based on slice of life stuff where like nothing important happens. People like that. That's how you build character. So if we'd had more time to do stuff, then it would have been great. But like, yeah, as it is, with the short amount of episodes we had in season 2, it's like there are tons of things I would cut out to stuff more, important things in. But
yeah, no, I completely agree. If we'd had more time, it would have made sense. Because I really like the idea to think about it in terms of like, this is therapy, right?
Yeah.
What you get out of individual therapy and what you get out of group therapy are different things. And so it would have been really interesting to see Ed in this like group therapy context, and what he would have pulled out of that from hearing from other people that are his peers. Because we don't see him with peers that much.
So I wonder if Ed is a really bad group therapy participant.
Almost certainly.
Like, how you have to do a lot of like listening and verbally responding. Like, I wonder if Ed would be like, have a really hard time with that rule and break that rule a lot.
Absolutely. He'd get kicked out. He'd have to go sit in the corner in the naughty chair.
I mean, how do pirates have group therapy? They don't regulate their emotions very well.
Well, Steve would run a great group therapy on his ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with Hornigold running it, right, who is also a violent leader, it certainly would have been probably just more punching as opposed to talking.
Yeah.
But that would have been fun too. But I also think, again, because of the story we got where Hornigold is Ed, right, that would have been harder to do with the group therapy thing. Like, are they all Ed? Is everyone Ed?
True.
Ed's perception of Calico Jack.
Yeah, Ed's version. Yeah.
I mean, when you do like internal family systems therapy, I'm sure we've all done it. Like, you talk to like the different like versions of yourself. So maybe that's what they could have tried to do that. But that's, again, very complicated.
Yeah. That would have been interesting, like, to have a bunch of characters there that represent Ed. Like, it would have like Jack, and it would have like Izzy and Steed and all these different sides of his personality.
Little old me posted in the chat, I don't do much social media, so I've missed all this stuff. So we should give a quick recap. So there's this online virtual convention that's happened that, because I'm poor, I wasn't able to pay for it. But I am just reading the skeets about the reactions to this. And it has David Jenkins. It has basically all the show's creators, and they're all answering questions. And so we've just had the David Jenkins and the Alex Sherman and Alyssa Lane panel. And related to the reveal that there was a potential scene of Hornigold doing group therapy in the gravy basket, there was the idea of killing Calico Jack over and over again, like Kenny. And
so funny.
I love that, because I've been wanting Calico Jack to come back, and I am thrilled at the potential, like if there is a season 3, that we could see Calico Jack again, just like we could see more and more badmintons.
Exactly. Missing the badminton was rough this season. I really wish they'd have popped up somewhere. And the same with Mary, but like, it's just what I was just saying is like, there's no time for anything. So we really wish we could got all those extras stuffed in there, because
and we're going to go through basically what we've learned just from people skeeting about this. So the big thing is that Alex Sherman was reading fanfic all between season 1 and 2. And if anyone actually attended the convention, can you confirm if that was between him writing season 1 and 2 or while waiting for season 2 to premiere?
You have a skeet further down that says he got confused about what was canon and what was stuff that he read. It sounds like he was between writing it.
I mean, he probably just started as soon as season 1 ended, but
didn't everyone?
Yeah, I definitely would be doing that. And I also get confused sometimes about what's canon versus what, is just in fan, because some of it's very convincing.
I want to know what fics he read. But the thing is, that's like asking me, what fics have you read? And I'm like, the
one with the thing, the one where Izzy does
and they all are together. I can't give you I can give you like a few of my top, maybe, give us some of your top 3, Alex Sherman, at some point. We'd appreciate that. And Frenchie is one of Alyssa Lane's favorite characters to write. Quote, he's a real enigma, puzzle, whimsy maker. I like that term, whimsy maker.
Whimsy maker.
And we're going to have to do a Frenchie episode.
I was just about to say, in the Frenchie episode, You're going to have to call it like Whimsy Maker episode.
Whimsy Maker.
And Ruthie the pig in the gravy basket was chosen because she was covered in hair that looks like Steed's hair.
Ruthie the pig looked like Steed.
I love that. I just need to shout out the Never Left podcast. I know that y'all talked about them before, but they have been so singularly obsessed with like, what is the pig? And I'm so glad today that there's because, well, first thing,
right,
it's her hair.
It's the hair. That's it. That's Steed's representation in the gravy basket.
Okay, this is the other thing. When Alex's season 2 writing playlist leaked, it was a total accident, not some plot to fuck with us. He just got Spotify and didn't know how it worked and got a text from Samba being like, your playlist is online.
Oh my God, how funny.
I remember when that dropped and people were like, ooh, is this some little Easter egg? Like he's like gotten permission to let us know the songs that are going to be in the show.
Nope.
And that was not meant to be seen by us. And I love that. Alex read so much fanfic, forgetting what's canon. Season 3 would start with the You Only Live Twice theme playing over the inn. Life happened in between seasons. That would be a slightly longer time jump than it sounds like than the Blue Sky tweet fanfiction.
The Christmas special, as they're now referring to.
The Christmas special. Every season is about the characters changing. They have to be stuck in a new and different way. I love that. Each season, the characters have to be stuck in a new and different way and get out of being stuck. But I like that we got the confirmation that is indeed the beginning of season 3. But there's going to be more of a time skip.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it ought to be because there's no way in hell they fixed up that in 1 year.
How many years do you think is between season 2 and season 3? Are we thinking more than 10 or less than 10?
Ooh. Less than 10.
I would
think so, less than 10.
More than 5 or less than 5?
Maybe just 5.
Yeah, 5 feels like a good number, right?
5
like,
is a nice number.
Because in
like
5 years, you could conceivably have the inn be functional, right? That's enough time.
Perhaps.
Yeah, maybe. And and also, I mean, time doesn't move the way it normally does in real life in the show, right? Yeah. It's kind of hard to say like, oh, here's what they would accomplish in that time, because whatever, they can also just pick up anything from anywhere, anytime.
But also, well, I know that it can't be exactly like it was in the Christmas story, but I'm sure that he's going to recycle a lot of that. And we had Jackie and Sang, right? Like, was it Auntie or was it just both of them? We're doing like speakeasies in New York. Like, so that takes a minute to get going, you know?
Okay, so 5 years is a long time to be in a relationship. That's rough.
Yeah, that's why Steve's looking at Applejack like, hey.
But also like, are Jackie and Swede still together after 5 years?
Yes.
Because she's spreading it out. She's not focused on just...
Yeah.
She's gathering new husbands. And once you're a Jackie husband, you're a husband till you die. So.
And in Steed, all they have is this island together.
And Applejack.
Oh, man. That's 5 years.
And their business.
Time.
I mean, running a business with a partner is a choice people make that I certainly would not. But people do it.
Right. I mean, I think they would have had a lot of time keeping them busy in just working on this inn because neither of them know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So they have a lot to learn and a lot to figure out. And that will take 5 years. But that also has to give them a lot of time for fighting over how to hammer a nail and which room is going to be what and, which curtains to use and stuff like that they're gonna like squabble about.
Not even fighting, just like, I'm sick of you.
Yeah, that too.
Sick of being around you.
Until Applejack showed up, they just had birds
anymore.
It was like birds and crabs. Ed was like down on the beach talking to the birds and the crabs, and then Izzy, and that's it.
So anyone who's watching, if you've been in a relationship for more than 5 years, what's that like?
It's okay if you like the person. Also, I don't think they're in a deserted island, so I don't think they're only fucking.
Well, that's the thing is, like, it seems that way, though. When they drop them off there, there's, like, nothing there. And we don't know so much. There's so much we don't know. So it's hard to say. Yeah. But it really does look like they're just in the middle of nowhere, which is why it's like, why would you start an inn here? But I have to hope that they are on an island with some other stuff, because otherwise it's going to be hard to get things, whatever. But we just don't know. But even if they are on an island with other people around, they're pretty remote where they are. And that's just a lot to be with one person. Yeah. Like, this is like, think of pandemic. If you were ever, even if you weren't in a relationship with someone for 5 years.
I was literally about to say, that's how I was in the pandemic. I was like, so when do I kill you? Soon?
Right. You had to like hope there were different rooms you could go to like do your hobbies you just learned, to like not murder the other person. So I feel like that's what's happening here. Is Ed's like, well, I'm gonna go in the other room and sew a pillowcase, and
I think because it probably would have been both a blessing and a curse that they have this business together. I mean, again, not something I would do, but I'm not a retired pirate. So, they are able to distract from just like delving into each other because they're working on the business and at some point getting customers. And I think, Belle, to your point, probably never seeing other people. I'm sure they are, in fact, seeing other people on occasion. But I think it would be, I don't know, in some ways it's like a time compressor to have that much time together. So 5 years probably feels longer. But in other ways, they've had this business to distract them from delving into their relationship with each other. So I imagine they probably haven't made, I mean, we see that in the Christmas special, they haven't made as much progress in communication as you would hope, by that time. And, speaking from my own experience, it'll be 9 years coming up soon for me. And our communication only started improving maybe like 7 years in. So, it takes some time.
Yeah.
Okay, so something that David said regarding fans interpreting things is whatever you guys think is valid is what I think.
Is as valid as what I think. Yeah. Basically saying, if you think it, then it's then it's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I love.
Which is a good thing, because there have been creators in the past who, when the fans are like, these two same-sex characters are in love, they would be like, no, stop writing fan fiction about my same-sex characters. They are heterosexual. And
Yep. Like, Anne Rice.
Yeah.
I did not know that. This is new information to me.
Yeah.
Anne Rice is the reason that people have to write, I don't own these characters, I'm not making a profit off of it, in front of their fan fictions, because she sued the shit out of everybody. But near the end of her life, she went through like a bunch of crazy different, life changes and did super religious and stuff. But near the end of her life, she came around to it. And like, before she died, she was one of the producers of the TV show.
Right. I was like, that's pretty great.
It was like, I mean, the book is gay. She just didn't know it. She didn't know what she was writing. But yeah. So, but by the end of it,
she wrote almost nothing but homosexual characters. Oh.
She came around to it at the end. She realized what was going on. So all good. But yeah, for a while there, she was like kind of nuts about it. So yeah. Yep.
Describing how Rhys and Taika were feeling things for each other that they'd never had to feel before as friends for 20 years. But your body doesn't know it's a play. Your body doesn't know it isn't real. And he watched them sort of fall for each other in real time because of that. What?
That's a lot. Coming from people who were like, it's awkward to kiss your best friend. Like,
tell us more. Yeah. Go on.
Yeah.
Really? Like, tell us more. That's cute,
we would like to hear more about this. How did this develop? Mm-hmm. What do you mean?
Was there lots of practicing going on in the trailers? Like, during... Go listen to the RPF. Go listen to the RPF episode.
And also, like, Taika in that Entertainment Weekly video where he says, where we fell in love both on screen and off.
Yes, which is like,
what do you
Taika
mean?
Trolling, but also
tell us more about that.
Tell us
David
more.
Jenkins, Taika, and Rhys. Like, I would like to see an essay. First person and
video, but that's just me.
I mean, I think in all seriousness, right, it just really speaks to the power of being a good actor, and really, like, if you are dedicated to your craft,
being authentic and vulnerable and real.
That means you have to be authentic and vulnerable. And it also speaks to I think the power of casting two people that know each other that well together.
Yes.
They could have cast other people. I'm sure it still would have been a good story and all of the things, and not that every show has to always cast lifelong friends, but I mean, if you're going to write something that is so meaningful and is going to be such a deep character development, then you really need to think about who those people are you're bringing into the story. And this just proves that, because obviously being friends that long, it is a safe place to completely fall into that and know that, like, at the end of this, we're still going to go back to our lives and be okay. And, it's not going to have to fundamentally change who we are as people. But while we're doing this thing together, we can really be.
And definitely the fact that they've been such long friends was extremely helpful in that they're both mostly comedic actors. And this was like their first real step into, it's a comedy show, but there's a lot of drama and a lot of emotional things they've never had to really deal with before, and like professionally. And that, as far as we know, they're both straightish. They're having, I know, Carly, I said straightish, and as far as we know. So, but either way, they've never, either of them had on-screen romances with another guy. So this was a lot of, like, there's a lot of stuff going on around them, and having each other was like the thing they could trust and, know that they were safe with each other, like you said. So definitely super helpful. And
so they're just to experiment with gay sex with your friends.
Right.
That's right.
Little old me said, without the Republic of Pirates, other pirates will need somewhere to stop off. I can imagine Steed bluffing things if anyone rocked up and tried to be a good host, even if the inn is only part built. Which, yeah, absolutely. But it's just so funny because he's all like, the inn is all built on like the gentleman pirate and all this stuff, and blah, blah. But then people show up and he's like, I don't know anything about that. I'm not a pirate. Which is just absolutely, at first I was like, this is weird that they would include that, but now I'm like, no, that's absolutely what they would do. Is like Ed would be like pirate stuff, and then Steve would be like, no.
This quote from David Jenkins: people sleep on Rhys Darby. Okay, first of all, how do you get to be one of these people who sleeps on Rhys Darby? It sounds like there's many people who are sleeping on Rhys Darby. I would like
you have to be Taika if you don't
get to be on that list.
Taika can sleep anywhere, and he does.
Great point.
But the full quote is: people sleep on Rhys Darby. Rhys Darby is pound for pound one of my favorite
word choices, man.
That
is a loaded statement.
Was like, that's a great question. And immediately I said, so he's talking about when they first did the first kiss in season 1, Rhys asked, who kisses who? Because he just said they kiss. So that's, so Rhys asked, who kisses who? Jenkins said, I said Blackbeard kisses Steed. And Rhys said, all right, it's a chase kiss. It's a high school kiss. Rhys and Taika were nervous.
Also, can someone do a Rhys Darby impression of saying "all right"? Belle, I'm looking at you. You've seen him the most.
I can't.
His voice is so hard to do. We need Samba in here.
Yeah.
He's like, all right.
I do agree with him, though. Actually, a really good actor. He really is. If you see him, especially if you see him on some of the early stuff like Lovebirds, he's good. He's just good. And then he kind of gets cast a lot as just like the funny guy, which he absolutely is. And he does wonderful in this show, in those roles, but he's really good. So Taika. Taika is also fantastic.
Yes.
And kind of related, Bronson Pinochet posted a video on, I don't know if I pronounced his name right, posted a cameo where a fan asked about stuff. Say his name. I don't know.
I think it's Pinchot. Yeah.
Whatever.
You just added an extra syllable. It's just really
to be
cute.
Fair, Carly, I always read it as Pinochet, and then one day I was like, I added a letter that's not there. That's not his name.
Oh my God,
I'm with you.
So
I did think that.
I love it.
He's actually Chilean. Nobody knew that, but he is.
So he did a cameo about David Jenkins, and David Jenkins was like, no accents, just be yourself, be you, don't. And David Jenkins in this little whole thing was like, he didn't want to defang actors by making them put on an accent or anything. And I love that. I love that because I feel like that so many actors who are starting out, they put on their actor voice and they put on, and it's like the actor voice is preventing the audience from seeing the real, like, stop acting like a human and just be a human, right? Like,
I will say though that obviously they do have a voice for their characters, because like you can tell the difference. Like, not so much Rhys is kind of Rhys, but like Taika is, is very different than his normal. So is Khan's, and I didn't realize how much it was until the last class that he did when he was reading the poem as Izzy, and he went from just speaking normal into Izzy, and I was like, whoa, and then the same with Vico. Obviously Vico's like a Disney character, and then Jim is very brooding, and so they have their own voice, but it's not like someone directed them to be a certain way, which is very helpful. And I'm sure Taika loved that, because he's the I don't want to do any research onto my parts, and
I wonder how Samba got away with an accent then.
I think it was like, do what you want kind of thing, not like necessarily you can't do an accent. But I think Samba was like, this is Roach, and it's great. But also Samba's really good at voices. Samba's really good at voices, and like Rhys is too, but Rhys didn't need one because that is Steed. Steed is that chipper little guy.
But also, Roach is a cartoon character. Yeah. And there are moments with like Ned Lowe and Steve that are like very dramatic. And I just appreciate actors who you can tell that they are being a human being and not like, I am acting today.
Yeah.
So I like that. So the OFMD Craft Fair, we actually talked about this last Gay Pirate News Hour, but
I added the update because it concluded after our last one. So
okay.
We have a tool now.
So just go through with like, there's just a couple things, because it raised over $100,000.
$105,000. So
which is fucking nuts.
And it was organized primarily by Liz, a non-binary parent and avid fanfic writer, and a team of 5 other volunteers. So fantastic. Good job, people, for saving the world.
The only thing I definitely want to make sure we add is that if you missed any of the crafts in the auction that you were interested in, on Blue Sky at Yerba Mansa, YERBAMANSA, has made a feed called OFMD Craft Fair Makers, and in that feed you can find all of the artists who donated stuff to the craft fair, so you can find, like, you can go follow them online and find their shops and stuff. So if you want to go support them and buy other stuff that they make that has to do with OFMD, so go check that out.
And Coyote, so the big news is Coyote versus Acme got picked up, got bought, and is going to be in theaters. So a lot of people are saying that that's a huge win for our Flag Beans death possibilities. What do you guys think?
I'm so like, they just love to hate us, and I don't feel like any of this stuff means anything for us. It's hard to want to get your hopes up about things because that has happened so many times and then nothing. So
yeah, I saw a quote from David from the panel today on Blue Sky where, and again, this is someone rewriting what he said, so maybe it wasn't his exact words, but the quote was, we had all these great ideas for season 3 that we can't do, that like we're never going to do, basically kind of saying like, oh, it's, like this isn't going to happen. And I mean, obviously, like, who knows, anything is possible. Yeah, I'm just trying to be happy with what we have and not get too excited about other things, because I just don't know anymore. For distribution is really different than making another season of a show.
Yeah, but as much as I am like the resident pessimist as far as season 3 goes, there are so many shows that have come back after like 10 years of being off the air and had their last season and whatever. That happens so much now, because a lot of the times anymore, all you ever see is like adaptations, prequels, and sequels. Like, that's all that there is like franchises and whatnot. And in that case, that's a good thing for us, because you can get
Daredevil is a good example of that.
Yes. Yep. Yes. That's a great segue. I started to say segue
into the show that I took one for the team. I watched like 6 hours of it while I was working, and then my brain melted because it's so violent.
It is.
I don't feel well.
So the reason that we were bringing up Daredevil is because Rubo is a major character on that show. A character.
A character. She's a character. I mean, I watched 5 or 6 episodes and I only saw her in like episodes 5 and 6. There were a few she wasn't in, but she plays a detective. She is amazing. She does a great job. Her character is, I think, similar to Zhang a little bit in that like it's a strong leader character. I mean, yeah, I love her little face.
She's in Jessica Jones, I believe. So
yes.
like this is another one of those very small Marvel characters from a show that they pulled out. And if you know anything about Marvel and about like especially the TV shows with Marvel, they love to take minor characters that fandom loves and pull them out and give them bigger parts in movies and stuff. So the fact that she's getting more screen time in this definitely says to me that she could pop up later on in Doomsday or something and just, you know, be like...
It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, again, the less I know about Marvel, the better. Everything I know has been against my will.
See, I'm a Marvel expert. I haven't watched the new Daredevil yet, though, so good for you.
Well, you'll be more prepared than I was. You're used to the violence. I was
Yes,
not.
I
was like, this is unending.
I mean, that's the whole thing with most of the superhero shows is...
And what's your pitch to get people to watch Daredevil, Andrea?
If you want to see Roybo be really cute, she is there being cute as hell. And that's all you need, really. Aside from that, if you like punching, there's a lot of that. So that's good.
Yep. Lots of punching.
And let's move on to Rhys Darby. And he says he'd go gay for Henry Cavill. Reactions. I just have to say, I love how the question is posed, who would you go gay for? And he answers, that's easy, which is for a man who's married to a woman who tends to present himself as straight. I love the extremely open, not like, no caginess there, just like I'm using hand gestures too.
Yeah. I mean, welcome to being secure about yourself and your sexuality and whatever. You don't have to be like, oh, what? Just like, yeah, I like him. He's cute. He's non-toxic. Yeah.
I don't know what the whole non-toxic thing. I've heard some pretty questionable things about Henry Cavill.
That's what he said. It wasn't non-toxic. He said it was something like wholesome or something. It was a nice thing. So
sure. Well, he is pretty. I'll give him that. Pretty man.
And it seems to be, is it his persona in The Witcher?
Yeah, people love that.
I think he likes The Witcher, yeah.
Yeah.
I have not ever been a Henry Cavill girly, but I know so many people that are. And I'm just like, he's all yours.
But the real question is not if we are Henry Cavill girlies. It's, is Henry Cavill a Rhysie girly?
Probably not.
Yeah, I was going to say probably not. Yeah,
no, if he's with then I would watch something he's in. But like, that.
Henry Cavill probably has very little concept of who Rhys Darby is.
yeah. And
oh, my heart.
Listen, I'm just telling it like it is.
yeah. And yeah. But again, he's pretty and that's great. And I'm happy for Rhys that he thinks he's pretty. That's what matters.
Yeah.
And anyway, just a good Rhys being open about what he's into.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
He's been doing a million interviews. Anyone pull anything particularly interesting out of any of those interviews?
I did some highlights for sure.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you did.
And everything. I did. Oh. Yeah.
That is a long...
Tell us the highlight.
I'll be quiet, I promise. Okay, so the very first one, the very important one, that's a message from Rhys. He said, come to shows expecting to laugh and dress up as your favorite character of his. Ooh. So that's a call to action, people. UK people, I don't know if I have enough space to put a costume in my suitcase, but yeah. Get dressed up. So that's one.
I'm going to dress up as the crazy character from Guns Akimbo.
Well, yeah, I think,
I love it.
Belle, you should wear your Only the Pause shirt.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm wearing that one for sure. I did a hug last time.
He'll remember
and little short shorts.
Yeah.
And the little short shorts, because it'll be summertime. Yeah.
That's right. So it's really
notably, summertime in London, so warm.
Listen, okay, I know it's typically not, but the one time I was in London, they were having like this crazy drought, and it didn't rain. I was in England for 10 days. It rained once for a couple hours. The entire time I was in London, it was in the upper 90s.
Okay, and so it gave you a false sense of what...
I was angry because I wanted my English rain, and there's no air conditioning there, and there's no ice there, and nothing is cold there. So it was just awful. But
yes, I'm keeping my fingers crossed for a heat wave. But so he also mentions costumes a lot when he does his interviews. So I really think the way to his heart is to dress him up. So if we want to get him somewhere, we have to dangle a costume in front of him, and I think he's there. He did shout out his sign in one of the interviews. He said, him and Rose are both Aries. And
no, he's not, though. He's mistaken. He's mistaken. He is a Pisces. He needs to look at his exact chart, which I have now that I have his birth time. People, you need to tell him. You need to clear up his misconception.
That man is in absolutely no way an Aries. That man is a Pisces.
He is a Pisces. He's a very, very late degree Pisces. This hurts me that he thinks he's an Aries.
Is he like the cusp? Is that what happened?
Just like he was just born a few minutes too early, and he is a Pisces. Tell people.
You can yell that at him the next time you go see him in LA. How's that? I thought this was going to make you happy, and it just made you sad.
It makes me sad when people think that they're the wrong sign. Okay, he's a Taurus rising. He's a Pisces sun, Taurus rising with an Aquarius moon. People, just remember that. Pisces sun, Taurus rising, Aquarius moon.
We're not going to remember
that, okay?
We're not remembering
Pisces
that.
sun,
okay,
Taurus
I remember.
rising,
I got it.
Moon.
Okay, when moving on.
You will say, sir, you are a Pisces sun, a Taurus rising, and an Aquarius moon. Tell him. Make sure he is correct.
You got it. So the next thing I have is that the Tribune, his hair is gray, so now they're canceled because his hair is clearly blonde.
Right.
So moving on from that, he was asked if he had a superpower, what would it be? He said he would love to go through walls for a quick getaway. And then another interviewer did a thing again when he said, "We're because you were in the military, we're going to recruit you into the war, the woke wars." And he said, "Which side should I be in?" And he said, "Well, basically saying, let's recruit you to go against wokeness." And he said, "No." He said, "You're talking about an old dude, the person who hasn't considered the life change for the better. People forget that what wokeness originally meant. It's waking up and realizing we need to treat each other better."
Oh, your microphone's so bad, Belle. I'm so sorry. I can't understand the thing you're saying. But
okay, yeah, but basically he just said, no, being woke just means being nice and being kind. So I'm with it. I'm not against it. So a lot of interviewers are trying, I think, go, okay, here's a 51-year-old man who's been doing comedy forever. Surely he thinks it's wrong that he can't say whatever he wants and just be cruel, and it's better if we're in charge. And he goes, no, that's fine. So lovely. He also said that he'd do anything with Taika, Jermaine, and Brett. So if a third season of Flight of the Conchords came up, he would totally do it as long as it's, good and they're not just trying to redo it for the sake of redoing it. And then, of course, in the DNA interview that we talked about, he says he go gay for Henry Cavill. He also says beautiful things about our flag means death.
They called him our straight mate.
Yeah, they did. They sure did.
What do you think about that, Carly?
Wait, I'm still trying to decipher what Bella's saying.
The magazine called him our straight mate.
Our straight mate. I mean, just because Rhys thinks he's straight and a lot of the world thinks he's straight doesn't mean he really is straight. It's
true.
It's like Anne Rice saying,
I agree.
My vampires are straight. Okay, you think they are. That's great. Perfect.
He did say that he thinks his character in a series of unfortunate events was also gay. So if anybody
that's
watched
really
that,
cute, actually.
Yep. Yeah,
like that.
Yep. He also credits flag fans with getting him the tour again, especially in the U.S. because he said we came in droves and he loved our energy. So he now knows that he can sell venues in the U.S. He also was asked if he prefers boxers or briefs, and he said tight-fitted boxers, but not too tight because he has to be comfortable. That's what I've got. The highlight
and
from his 7 interviews.
His character in Star Trek, we finally got to see himself. Speaking of putting him in fancy costumes to get him to do things. Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about the Star Trek character, people who know Star Trek.
So here's the thing is I don't know very much about Star Trek, but I have a lot of friends who do. And it is not confirmed, but everyone thinks he's playing this character called Trelane, who was in one episode of the original series. And apparently this guy is kind of like a trickster, similar to like Loki, except for I think he's a little less killy than Loki. And yeah, that's so Rhys is just like playing a trickster character who dresses like a fop. In the original series show, this character has like a sword fight scene. So
that's cute.
We'll see. Maybe Rhys will have a sword fight scene. That would be fun. But he looks really good.
Yeah, from the like 2 seconds that you see him, he's wearing a very fancy outfit that's like kind of a 17th century waistcoat sort of outfit thing, but it has a futuristic vibe to it. And he's got a little scarf. He's got sideburns, and his hair's kind of like combed, and he's snapping. So
I'm
his
sure
fingers.
we'll get more of that soon. I'm sure as they continue to promote it. Yeah, and I think that's all for Rhys. Yeah.
Taika is filming Fing alongside Mia Wasikowski. I really should have researched some of this, but what is Fing? Do we know anything about it?
I know nothing about it.
From what I understand, it's a children's book, so it's very whimsical, very kind of, that is what I read.
Okay.
And he's directing Spy, which is an adaptation of Claire and the Sun. I could have sworn that he directed Claire and the Sun already, like that.
Yeah, I think what's happening is that it's finally making its way through the processes to finally come out. I don't know about this one. It was not one of my things, but I think that's what's happening, yeah.
Okay, but maybe it has a new title. Maybe it's not called Claire and the Sun. It's called Spy. That seems to be okay. And he's filming A Place to Be alongside Ellen Burstyn. And this, I did see this one. This one is about a man who is returning a pigeon to somewhere. There's a pigeon involved.
Well, just, you could sum that all up by saying Taika is being Taika, aka working on a ton of projects all at once.
Yes.
And still managing to be cute on social media.
Yeah. But there's been some behind the scenes shots of Taika carrying a pigeon and then him kind of looking tender with Ellen Burstyn. And it's cute. It's good. And I like that. It's like a middle-aged man with like an older woman, and they're driving somewhere. And so lots of character stuff, I think.
They're returning a homing pigeon home. I believe what happens is the homing pigeon gets hurt. And so they're returning him home. I believe that's what I read.
Gotcha. Yay.
And he faced off with Anna Sawai from Shogun in Vogue Australia's Hardest Quiz, where they each asked questions about themselves. I get to see if they could remember answers to trivia questions about themselves. And I think he also photographed a photo shoot with Anna.
Yeah.
She's really good. She's an actress. I hope she becomes a big star. She's cool. And there will be an opportunity to send him a note if you're attending the new Unicon in London this summer.
Yes.
What's the details on that?
So it's just something that's just been talked about in the Discord server for the convention, but they're going to have they're making a kind of small book. So your notes are going to be like tiny, but they're going to have more details about it soon. But they're making like a satchel out of depression robe fabric that they're going to wrap this book in and send it to him.
And someone has an actual contact for Taika where they're going to actually be able to give him a thing?
Supposedly, yes. And that's what behind this was like, he doesn't have time to do conventions, so we'll bring the convention to him was kind of it. So if you're going to that con, you will have an opportunity to write something on a little card for him, and it will get sent to him, which is really cool.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, and you're going, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She is. I'm thinking about it, but I don't have any money. So,
right.
That's never stopped me before, but
I know. I'm like, am I going to try and make this happen somehow? What am I doing in June?
You should. I mean, I am so all about if there's any conceivable way to do the experience, go see the show, go do the travel, go do whatever thing it is, because you could die tomorrow. The world could explode tomorrow. And it's really likely right now that the world will explode.
I was going to say, and more likely than ever.
Yes. So if there's any way, if it means you have to work extra shifts, or if you want, if it's, I know some people just is not possible, and that's, unfortunate and I totally understandable. But if there's a way to make a thing happen, go do the thing, because you won't regret doing the thing. You'll regret not doing the thing.
Right. Good advice.
But speaking of the new unicorn, we have now David Fane, we have Rubo Kwan, we have Nathan Fode, and we have Con O'Neill as a guest. So that will be really exciting. I was like, I really want to go to meet David Fane. I don't care about Con. I've met him before. But David Fane is exciting. He's never been to a convention before.
Oh, baby.
Can you? I just want to be hugged by David Fane. Like, so sweet, my heart.
So Samba is in a movie called Best Life.
You skipped right over Con.
Oh, did I? Sorry. Okay, sorry.
Wow.
Sorry.
How
scrolling too fast.
Dare you?
Okay, Ringa, do you want to give us all the
I did this nice segue and everything.
That's
well. I know Belle had written this, but The Way of the Wind, which is a biblical drama, and was playing Enoch in it. And it was announced last year. They filmed it, I think, 2 years ago, maybe. But it's set to premiere at Cannes later this year. So that'll be...
Who knows Bible stuff? What does Enoch do?
Enoch is... Here's the thing is like... I don't know Bible stuff a lot, but I know that Enoch is sometimes another name for Metatron. And I was just like...
Metatron is in Good Omens.
I don't know anything about that, but Metatron is the voice of God, and Alan Rickman in Dogma, for those who have gone that far. So I don't know that they're going that route with it, because Enoch is another character that does other things in this book, this fiction book we call the Bible. But if they go, I really like, let's go the Metatron route, because Khan as the voice of God, come on.
He's already the voice of God, so like that's cheating.
Yeah. He's the only other person that Alan Rickman that I would accept as the voice of God.
Exactly. Yeah. A lot of things, like people were talking about they're doing maybe a Galaxy Quest sequel, and I'm like, well, you have to replace Alan Rickman with Khan. Like, if you're going to do it, I don't think you should. But if you're going to, I will only accept replacements for Alan Rickman and David Bowie or Khan. That's all, in the future, any future projects.
Yeah. Now you say that, Labyrinth with Con O'Neill, I'm 100% in. How do I make this
exactly? 100%.
He already has the bulge.
Great.
And then, so the craft fair, he donated a voice memo, and the person who bought it wrote this beautiful script for him to read. And it's about talking about how great the fandom is and how wonderful and sharing and giving we are and all the great work we've done. And that is up on SoundCloud. It is somewhere on Liz's Blue Sky if you follow them, and just search like Con O'Neill SoundCloud message. I don't know, you'll find it. It's adorable and very beautiful and made me cry. And then the last news for him is that he posted sexy selfies over multiple days in a row, like an attention-seeking slut. And we are all very
grateful. Fans were happy about it.
And we all love him.
We're so happy about it. He doesn't post all that often, so getting 2 selfies in a row was like very exciting. Now you may talk about Samba.
So Samba is in a film called Best Life, which was shown at the LA International Festival. It looked like he was naked for part of it, and it looked like there's like lots of kissing and stuff. So if you want to see Roach get it on
with someone,
I would rephrase that more. Or if you want to see him be a romantic lead.
Yeah.
If you want to see him get it on.
Yeah, but yeah, Samba is in his romantic lead era. It looks very meaningful and very sincere and stuff. So Samba is showing his acting that he's not just a cartoon character. He can do dramatic stuff too. And we're here for it. And Christian Narn will be at Comic-Con Prague and Austria Comic-Con.
And this is your reminder to request all of the Our Flag Means Death actors at every convention that you can think of, because they will only go to conventions that invite them to go and, ask them to come. So that they don't make this choice themselves. Go to your local Comic-Con website, and there's usually a form to fill out for like requesting guests, but also like go to all the GalaxyCon pages. There's a thing at the bottom of all their pages that says, who do you want to see at the conventions? Request them repeatedly at all of them. And that's the only way that they'll hire these guys to come back and do stuff, is if they know there's a demand for them.
And Nathan Fode is the link. There's nothing under Nathan's name.
Yeah, he's chilling. He's just chilling. So, he's having a holiday month, just chilling.
And Vico is continuing to do Today in Gay, a podcast about gay news every day.
They went to the queries and they were flirting with David Archuleta, and they were very happy about it. So
I don't know who David Archuleta is.
Carly.
I don't know who this person is. Who is this person?
It's a singer. It's a singer.
Famous to American Idol. Really tiny. So small.
So small.
But yay. And what's the next thing? They got to be a judge at Trans Dude Visibility Ball in LA. Yay. I'm sure that was fun for people who knew about that and went.
Yeah, they seemed like they had a great time there. All right. We already did Rubo.
Yeah. Skip down to David Fane. Oh.
So he's going to be at the International Festival in Aotearoa with this comedy group that he's had forever. So the show is called The Last Temptations of the Naked Samoans, May 20th through 22nd in Auckland. So if you're anywhere in the vicinity during that time, I wish I was, please go see. It's hilarious. I've seen some of their things and it's amazing. The way
sounds
that it's described is a 1 hour dark comedy about denial, miracles, and community service.
Amazing.
Exactly.
Rachel House's voice is in the Minecraft movie as the villain. Yay.
That is one reason to see that movie.
And Jermaine is in it too.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Well, yep.
Gosh, I hate when good people are in bad things.
And Belle, what's the Annapella news?
As we've talked about, she was in Tina, but now it's showing in Aotearoa and it's breaking records. It's smashing box office records. If you get a chance to watch it, I got to watch it while I was there. It is absolutely brilliant. It's incredible. So let's hope it's going to get a release in Australia as well. Let's hope that keeps going and then eventually makes it somewhere where you can watch it. It's brilliant.
And Ringa, go into all the fandom news.
Okay, here we go. So, donations and raffles. Tiny Crew Big Raffle has now their second raffle is open, and it's open through May 3rd. So, all the rest of this month. The prize is Spanish Jackie's little baby monkey prop that was in season 2. And all you have to do is make a donation of at least $5 to one of their charities and then send them proof that you donated, and you'll get an entrance to the raffle. So, you can see all the charities and the rules at Tiny Crew Big Raffle, which is on Blue Sky and on Instagram. As far as in-person events, we have coming up next weekend is C2E2 in Chicago. They're having Our Drag Means Slay, which is a drag show that has happened, I think, the last 2 years also at C2E2. It's on April 12th, and in-person tickets are available, but also they're going to be streaming it live for free. So you can follow them on Blue Sky and on YouTube at Our Drag Means Slay. It will be live on their YouTube on April 12th. Call for participants. We've got a OFMD monster zine called Hybrid Signal. It's going to be an 18 plus zine. It's looking for writers and artists. It's a digital charity zine. The form is open now through April 14th. So you have got a little over a week left to put out your interest. It's at Hybrid Signal Zine on Blue Sky, or you can email hybridsignalzine@gmail.com. Our Flag Means Death remix. This is really cool. And apparently this is something that has been done before, but I didn't know about it. It's an AO3 event where people create fiction art based on existing fiction art. So if you've ever seen like at the bottom of a fic, like fics inspired by this one, it could be like just a retelling of your story or some kind of like a branch off of it or whatever. So they're doing 2 different events within this event, one which is a classic and one called a fuckery remix, which I guess is just some kind of craziness. All their details are on their Blue Sky, but you have to have at least 3 fics or 3 pieces of art on your AO3 that are safe for work. You're allowed to have not safe for work stuff too, but just in the interest of people who don't want to deal with not safe for work stuff, you have to have at least 3 safe for work things. So if that is you and you want to be involved, you can find them at OFMD Remix on Blue Sky. And it seems really cool, and I'm definitely going to participate. Garlic Soup for the Pirate Soul, despite being garlic soup, and it is for all fandom characters, everybody in the Our Flag Means Death fandom. It's like Chicken Soup for the Soul. So it's going to be a book of collections of stories and art from the Our Flag Means Death fandom talking about how the show has changed your lives. So that's everybody. And if you have any interest in being involved with this, there's an interest form on their Blue Sky at Garlic Soup 4 Pirates, or they have a Discord. It's all on their Blue Sky. Go check them out. You have until May 18th, so we'll cover this again next month. But this is a really cool project, and I think everyone should be involved. And then You Make Fine Things Well, Volume 2. They had one of these last year. They're looking for crafters to submit patterns to be included in this charity zine that's coming out this summer. Go to @Lyndzi, LYNDZI, to find the sign up link for that. So if you're a crafter and you have a ability to write up your pattern and submit it to the zine, go there for that. And then a couple fandom events that are going on right now. All of April, we have Not AU Pril from the people who bring you AU events throughout the year, like AU August. This one is not AUs. So it's a different prompt every week, a different set of words every day. The prompt weeks are Drabble Week, Random Generator Week, Canon Inspo Week, Sensory Week, and Form Fuckery Week. All prompts at OFMD MAUNTHS. So that's month spelled with an AU in the middle of it. March 30th through April 5th, so today's the last day, is Stepdad Ed Week. It's all creations around Ed as a stepdad. The prompt list is at Stepdad Ed on Blue Sky. April 7th through the 13th, OFMD First Times Week. Prompts for stories and art about first times, and it doesn't have to be a sex thing, although with this fandom it probably will be. Any kind of first times is at DENIZB33 on Blue Sky. At the end of this month, April 26th through the 30th, is Our Flag Gets Low. It's the second annual week of celebrations of all things Ned Low. More information is coming soon with prompts and all that at Cecillusive. That's CECILLUSIVE. And lastly, April 27th through May 3rd is Bottom Steed Week, which is exactly what it sounds like. And prompts for that are available at Bottom Steed Week on Blue Sky. And that was my monthly fandom roundup, and I made it real quick.
Yay, really good job, Ringa. Oh my God. And also, there's so many things.
There's
so many things.
I am always so happy to see when I go looking for these, like the week before. I'm always like, there's so much happening, and that's so great that like a fandom whose show has been over for well over a year still has more like weekly events than huge fandoms that are still current. Like it's incredible.
We're so creative. There's so much talent on this ship. So we're going to do Fic Recs as we wrap things up. I know Belle has one. Give us your pitch.
Okay, so I'm starting out on Phantom again. So Gilded Cage is part of another one of their Omegaverse series, and Steed is an Omega who has not been allowed to be an Omega. It's Steed and Ed meet as the teenagers. It's gorgeous, and it's set like the mid 1900s. So it's an AU, but it's absolutely gorgeous so far. It's not completed yet, but I believe in them. Yeah, check that out.
Anyone else read anything recently?
I have one that I read the first couple chapters, and more chapters are coming out, and I'm enjoying it. Kind of a similar time period also as the one you said, Belle, but not Omegaverse. So this is Moments of Gold by Well Sussed. I'm sure we've all come across Well Sussed before. But this one is in 1920s. They meet when they're young, starving artists and a gentle beard. And then they separate and come back together. And it's really cute and really sweet and well written. And I'm enjoying it.
Excellent. Ringa, any?
Yes, I just read a fic called We're Both of Us Beneath Our Love by Non Timer Tenebrous. I never know how to say their name. It's NONTIMERETENEBROUS. If you read Izzy stuff, you'll know this person. It's a modern AU where Ed is dating both Steed and Izzy separately. Like, I can't remember if this is one of the ones where he is like actually married to Izzy, but they're like kind of broken up, because that happens in a lot of them. But either way, he's seeing both Steed and Izzy separately, and he has made reservations at the same bar, Spanish Jackie's, to have a Valentine's Day date with them, both on the same night, but at like different times. So he thinks he can get away with it. And of course, Izzy is there like early. And so Izzy and Steed end up like chatting with each other at the bar. And then they, Ed comes in and is like, uh-oh. And they end up going upstairs, and Izzy and Steed have sex with each other and make Ed watch, and it's great. And they have a really good time, and they won't let Ed get himself off, and it's super. So it's one of my favorite flavors, which is stizzy, but Ed is there too.
And this is Gay Pirate News Hour from the Our Flag Means Fanfiction podcast. We have episodes every week wherever you get your podcasts. And we also have an Instagram, Our Flag Means Fanfiction, all one word. And if you want to show the world that there still is an audience for Our Flag related content, give us a little rating and a little review. Share this podcast with your friends. And if you want to be part of it, do that. You can email us, ourflagmeansfanfiction@gmail.com, and come on here, or just give us a suggestion for a future show. We also do mini-sodes where you narrate fan fiction and we put it up on the podcast. So if you've read a fan fiction that you really like and you want to narrate it, just ask the author's permission first, then email it to ourflagmeansfanfiction@gmail.com and we'll put it up on the podcast. So that is it for today. I think we did it. We did another Gay Pirate News Hour. We do these things every first Saturday of the month, and we wrap up all the fandom news. So any final words before we sign off today?
Everyone take a nap and a cry after reading that thread, all the threads on Blue Sky about the information we got today. Or if you watched it live, you need to also have like a snack on top of your nap and your cry. Everyone take care of each other, and wow. What a day.
What a day for real.
What a day. Yeah. Check out hashtag behind our flag on the Blue Sky, because everyone is sharing what the creators have had to say, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. All righty, guys. Until next time, do creations, be cringe, commit crime. Bye.
Bye. Bye.